poderoso. Are you feeling better?
Thank you.
Well, you're in trouble now.
No troubles.
All right, you may proceed.
First of all, thank you for this experience.
Oh, thank you for the co-creation.
My question is
Speak up,
about
speak up.
my question is about acting on our highest excitement. You always mention that.
What a coincidence. We talk a lot about that.
But how about sometimes I push myself to meditate, to go to the gym, to study, but after that I feel really good.
All right, stop. When you look at the idea of acting on something that contains more excitement than something else, but you find that you have to push yourself to do it, it may be because of one of two things, generally. Can be other things, but one of two major things generally. Number one, it may not necessarily be representative of your excitement, or you may be coloring the way you go about it to make the way you go about it seem not exciting when you could be going about it in a more exciting way. That is part of the overall excitement instead of just looking at it as a means to an end. Is this making sense? In other words, you have to have the ability to discern what is really representative of excitement and what is not, or what you may be making look like it's excitement that's not, or what may be not your excitement that is, that you're making look like it's not your excitement. Many things in your belief system can color the way you look at the way you go about doing things. And if you have a different definition, a different belief about a process that is different than the thing itself, and you're not seeing the whole thing, the process and the thing, as one thing, then you will separate those things out and saying, well, the thing itself is exciting when I do it, but getting myself to do it is difficult. Well, that means you're making a segregation between the idea of doing it and getting to do it, when it's actually one thing. If it was something you were really excited about and doing it in the most exciting way you can imagine, nothing would stop you. There'd be no hesitation, and there would be no difficulty. Is this making sense?
Usually fun things come, easily. You just don't have to push yourself.
Exactly, and
things
that
like-
means then you're in alignment with not only the thing itself, but all the ways in which you allow yourself to arrive at the doing of that thing, which are actually all part of doing that thing. This is why we say when you act on your excitement, it's very important, not just the thing itself, but how you do it, where you do it, with whom you do it. All the components have to be in alignment with the excitement, or it's not really a holistic definition of the thing that excites you the most. Do you understand?
Yes, makes
So
sense.
because you have to push yourself to do things, that only means that either you are coloring the way you're going about it, and there could be a more exciting way you could go about getting to that and doing that thing, and you have different kinds of ideas about what getting to do it means, or it's really not necessarily something that excites you at that moment, and you're forcing yourself to do it when you could be doing something more exciting.
How to distinguish?
Well, as I said, it takes honesty. It takes real self-evaluation. You have to be honest as to whether or not you're actually coloring it. But it comes with a simple question. Again, what would I have to believe is true relative to this experience about myself that makes me feel what I feel? Where's the resistance coming from? What is it I'm actually resisting? Resistance is usually the product of fear. So even though a thing may excite you, there may be something you're attaching to that thing, some belief, some definition, that for some reason dampens the excitement, and dampens the excitement in certain aspects that are connected to it. So you have to look at it holistically. So let's ask these questions to be more specific. You have used the idea of meditation as an example. Yes?
Yes.
When you're doing the meditation, are you excited about doing it? Yes or no?
Yes, during and after especially, I
All
feel
right.
very good.
So the question would be, what's different in your definition between doing it and after you do it to getting to do it? What difference in definition are you making between starting to do it or going to do it as opposed to doing it? What's the difference?
Laziness, let's say. I don't know what
There
is
is really
this.
no laziness. That's really not a realistic answer. Because again, it's not that you're lazy, it's that you're resistant. And you're resistant to something specific. So
Wow.
what is that specific thing in your mind going around in the unconscious mind that causes you to resist doing a thing you say is exciting? There has to be a definition there that doesn't make it look exciting, or you wouldn't feel resistance to doing it. You would just do it. So what is the definition you're holding on to that makes it difficult for you to do something you say is exciting? What are you afraid will happen if that's exciting too?
Basically nothing.
You
I'm
have to be
afraid
afraid
of
of something.
I don't know at the moment. Maybe.
Speak up.
I don't know the answer yet.
Yes, you do.
Really?
Absolutely. You're just not being honest enough yet. Let's reverse the question in a different direction. Why are you excited about the meditation? What do you think you're getting out of doing the meditation when you do it?
Because I connect. I feel good. It feels good.
It
basically.
feels good.
Exactly.
And you connect.
Exactly.
All right. And afterward, there is a kind of an afterglow. You still feel connected. You still feel good.
Yes.
All right. What is it about before doing the meditation that doesn't feel the same way?
The same thing happens going to the gym, let's say. It's the
I
better
understand.
example.
What is it
Just-
about the thing before that doesn't, in your mind, think that it can feel the same way? What are you making an assumption about that makes the thing before the thing seem to be something different that won't feel the same?
Wow.
Can you be specific about what it is you don't enjoy about getting to do it as opposed to doing it?
Maybe I push myself a lot.
Push yourself.
For doing things in the right way, right time.
All right.
That's
And
why.
so you are tired of pushing yourself. You resent yourself for pushing yourself. Therefore, you argue with yourself and resist yourself because you think you have to push yourself to do something exciting. But that's a contradiction. If it's really exciting, you wouldn't have to push yourself. Maybe you think you're lying to yourself about those things being exciting. Are you just using them as a cover for something more exciting? Are you using them as a fallback, a default position for something else you could be doing that would actually be more exciting, but that you're afraid to do?
Maybe.
Well, what would that be? If you were willing to truly act on the things in your life that are most exciting to you, what are you afraid might happen if you did that?
Basically nothing. I know. Just the happiness.
Nope, you're not being honest. You have to understand this is a very obvious thing. If you find resistance in your life, it is usually because there is either a fear-based definition or you are assuming you have to do something you don't really have to do. So let's approach the first one and the second one in a different order. Let's say you did not meditate. Yes?
Yes.
Well, if you didn't meditate, if you chose not to meditate, then you wouldn't feel pushed to meditate, would you?
Yes.
Would you be all right with not meditating?
We'll be fine. Yeah.
Oh, all right, so it's not really that exciting then, is it? Is it?
That's
If you're
true.
okay with not doing it, trust me, you're not passionate about it.
Yes.
You understand?
I understand.
All right. That's the key. You're not really doing the things you would actually find most exciting. You're just using stand-ins and pretending that they are, and that's why you resist doing them. Yes, of course, they may feel good when you do them, but the point is your resistance is coming from the fact that that's not really the most exciting thing you could be doing because you're very readily willing to give it up. And if you're really passionate about it, you wouldn't be. That's what you would
Wow.
resist.
Okay.
You understand the difference?
Yes. Yes.
Is this helping?
Very much?
All right. Is something illuminating within you?
Absolutely. One more question.
Yeah.
if I can.
Speak up.
I remember just you mentioned once about control from outside.
There is no
You
such
said
thing.
there's no such thing. You said there's a game like they want you to believe that they are controlling you,
Yes.
but it's just a game.
Well, in other words, they're very clever, very smart. They know how to communicate certain things. But the greatest power that they have in the negative context is getting you to believe that they have more power than they do. And as soon as you buy into the idea that they want you to buy into, that they have more power than they do, then you give them their power, and then they appear to have more power than they do. That's the game. Don't play the game.
Okay.
Does that help?
Very much.
Thank you. Go and find something that you're really excited about.
Thank you.
And then there will be no resistance whatsoever. It will take a team of wild horses to keep you away from doing it.
Oh, wow.
Yes?
Thank you. Yes.
That's when you know you're really acting on your passion, is when you feel you have no other choice. Really, no other choice. As you say on your planet, come hell or high water, no other choice. This is what I'm passionate about. This is what I'm doing. If it's truly your passion,
Wow.
you will stop at nothing, and there will be no resistance to doing it. Yes? So
I
act
have
on
to
your
just
passion.
find it. That's my, basically.
Don't experience resistance by finding out what you're truly passionate about and acting on it. Because the things that you're acting on may feel good, but they're obviously not really that much of an experience about passion, or you would have no resistance to them at all. All right?
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Tadeo.
Good day to you, Nania.
Speaking of hell,
Yes.
I wanted to ask you, in your travels of contact, what is the darkest, most negative civilization that you've encountered, and how would that compare with what you see on Earth?
If you wish any kind of a comparison at all, it would be the idea of a civilization that doesn't know that there is any other option other than what it is experiencing that allows it to feel completely and utterly hopeless and despairing. And in that despair, there is absolutely no inkling that there can be anything else. You have the freedom to know there is something else. Yes?
Yes. Yeah, we have the
The
yin
greatest
yangs.
hell is the one you don't know you're in.
So, like the ancient Orion system?
Closer, but even there were those that resisted. There are dark places you don't want me to take you to. Do you understand?
Yes, and in fact, I know that one of the things that humans feel challenged by is dealing with the levels of darkness that are on our planet, that are
Yes.
expressed on our planet.
And sometimes they are relatively dark compared to other places, and that's fine because you are a master class. You can graduate from this. You can transform the darkness into light, which is an expression of your power. And relative to the places you just asked me to describe, you have it pretty easy. So count your blessings.
There's always a silver lining.
There
I
is
know.
always a silver lining.
And so when we're dealing with darkness,
Yes.
and particularly I've noticed that as people expand their awareness and become more connected with other dimensions and everything, that also what can happen is great fear can come up. Fear of demons,
Yes.
fear of negative aliens,
Yes.
to the point of almost a hysteria.
Yes.
And when I say that, I say it with compassion, because if you've ever experienced that degree of negativity being in your face, in a sense,
Yes.
it is utterly and completely terrifying.
Yes, of course. That's what it's designed to be.
And so, is there something that you could say about, as people go along on this journey, and perhaps those kinds of negative energies that are so frightening?
I just said it. I just said it.
Just to count your blessings?
No, that's what it's designed to be.
It's designed to terrify.
Yes, that's its job. That's what it's designed to be. You have the entire spectrum of experience within creation. Some things are designed to reflect joy. Some things are designed to reflect terror. That's its job. That's what it's designed to be. When you know that, it will start to appear simply like the villain in a play that's wearing a mask, but you know there's simply an actor beyond it that doesn't have the intention that the mask is designed to convey, but the actor is playing a part. Therefore, if you understand, no matter how terrifying something may seem, that it is simply what it's designed to play, that starts to remove the charge, because you start to see through the mask, and you start to realize that behind everything, no matter how brilliant, no matter how bright, no matter how gray, no matter how dark, no matter how terrifying, behind everything is the same spark of source and all that is, and there is nothing that's happening that doesn't have a reason for happening. It's all valid, and it's all part of the play.
And with Star Wars, I'm remembering that scene where Luke Skywalker goes into the swamp to face his fear. This seems to be some sort of a rite of passage,
Yes,
or a...
it's called your dark night of the soul.
Okay, and so can you share with us in that representation,
Yes.
what exactly...
It's an opportunity to recognize the polarity that exists within each and every being, to acknowledge it, to own it, and then to balance it, to neutralize it, to learn from it, to propel you toward what you prefer. Yes?
Yes, that we need to get to a place where we don't, in a sense, condemn evil. We don't hate evil.
Because you're only hating a reflection of yourself. And that, if you wish a definition of evil, is evil. Which, of course, in your language is exactly the backward form of live. Yes? To not live is evil. Yes?
Yes.
If you want a definition of evil, then that's it. To not live your life.
So when you take a step back from our planet and you sum up all of the negative experiences that beings are having on our planet,
Yes.
and all the positive energies that are happening on our planet simultaneously,
Yes.
is it that balance of 51%, as you were saying, slightly in the direction of the positive?
Remember that there's a difference between experience and the actual mechanism. The mechanism is always 51% positive, 49% negative. If you want to put an arbitrary percentage on it, that will do as an illustration. The experience that you're having can be quite different. But if you know that it's only an experience laid on top of the mechanism, then you will know that even though the experience may seem to be 99% negative and only 1% positive, that experience is still laid on top of a structure that by definition has to be more positive than negative. And that's why you can always find a way to transform any negative experience into a positive one by keying back into your knowledge that the structure underlying it can only be mostly positive, and therefore there is always an opportunity to get something positive out of it, even when it appears to be mostly negative, because that's just an illusion. It's just a play. It's just doing the job that was written for it in the script.
Okay, and lastly, I know that many people on Earth, I guess I'll use the word struggle,
Yes.
with the idea of being on a planet where there is so much negativity. And that it's like it hurts their soul. It's like they can't stand it, that there's so much suffering, that all of these things that put the individual in a state that's obviously a negative state, condemning the negative state.
Yes, which adds more negativity and
Right.
increases and expands the experience of suffering. Instead of using the suffering as a lesson to create a reality where there is no longer suffering, which would be the compassionate way to read the suffering. to understand that someone who is choosing an experience of suffering can actually be a great teacher exercising great power enough to be willing to express an experience of suffering so that others may avoid it, if they take that path. But if they simply go into the idea of negativity about it, then they're only increasing the suffering, and they're actually missing the point of why a masterful being may have chosen to experience suffering, to illuminate to others that they don't have to experience that. Yeah?
Yes, so if individuals find themselves, in a sense, getting down about the
Yes.
way things are and everything,
Yes.
if we were to think of one image, one way of illuminating your frequency and feeling good about Earth.
Take responsibility. I chose to be here. Why? I am here to experience something that will allow me to recognize myself as more than I recognized myself as before. There is a positive reason that I can extract from every experience here. That's why I chose to be here, not only for myself, but in extracting positive experience from even the negative situations. I will act as a shining example that will help all others know they can do so too. I am here for them. I am here for me. I am here to have an experience of all that is equally valid to any other experience. And it's about finding a way to allow this to work for me instead of assuming in any way, shape, or form that I am a victim at anyone's mercy, because everything is in my hands here. And it is all made out of unconditional love. All I have to do is align with that knowledge, and I will experience it to be so.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Tadeo.
You are welcome, Nania. On that note, you may all begin to relax and take a deep breath in and really begin to relax into yourself.